which we may be seeing a small start of change with some of the states starting to buy gold. What are your thoughts on that?
That's a great step in the right direction, and we need to see more of it. I think you're referring to what's going on in Utah right now.
Yes.
Yeah, Utah and other places, So Utah just passed I don't know what it was, an act or what have you, but they formally empowered the treasurer to protect the assets of the citizens of Utah, whether it be tax revenue or Medicare pension payments, whatever, to protect them with up to 10% in gold and silver. And I think that's a smart move. Um, they're not the only ones out there doing this. There is also legislation in Texas and Ohio have already passed legislation or have started buying some gold. And there's under consideration now in Missouri, Tennessee, Idaho, and West Virginia as well. So other states are looking at this. And I kind of see this, Charlotte, as a continuation. I've presented and talked a bit about central bank gold sales in the past, right? And how over the past 2 years, we've seen record sales, or I'm sorry, record purchases by central banks of gold to the tune where it's not even close. I mean, the most in a gold sales in a year 2 years ago in 50 to 60 years since they started keeping track. And then last year, 1 year ago, they missed that higher watermark by 4%. Okay, so 2 years of amazing central bank buying, and they're buying it for all the same reasons that the state legislatures are concerned about their finances. They want gold as a performer during times of crisis, right? They want a long-term store of value. They want an inflation hedge, and that's what we're seeing quoted here in the Utah legislation. They want an effective portfolio diversifier. They want no default risk that comes with owning gold. They want a highly liquid asset. It is a tier one asset, internationally recognized as such. They're worried about systemic financial risk worldwide. They're worried about sanctions because we weaponized the dollar over the past couple of years. They're worried about changes to the international monetary system and potential de-dollarization, which we're actually seeing unfold before our eyes. So this is nothing new. And like you said, it may be a small start, but good for the people in those states where their state legislatures actually have the foresight to protect their assets going forward. There's another way to protect them too, and that's not to overspend, to actually balance your budgets and do things like that. But in the meantime, holding some gold won't hurt.
And Wisconsin recently did something interesting too, with becoming the 44th state to end sales tax on the purchase of gold and silver.
Yeah, we actually saw that announced. We went ahead and reached out to all of our Wisconsin residents and say, hey, by the way, because it's not a small amount. We said, by the way, if you want to buy gold and silver, platinum, palladium right now, you can do so 5% cheaper than you could yesterday. That's a 5% sales tax. That's a big hit. I mean, that's 2 to 3 times our margin in selling precious metals, and the state just gets it for doing nothing, but sitting back and collecting it. So good to see them move that direction and treat gold as a real asset, an important asset for a portfolio, and hopefully that will encourage people to own it, not just in Wisconsin but elsewhere.
Exactly. And especially since something else is very interesting happening with gold and silver, the prices are going up.
Oh, they are. I hadn't noticed.
No?
No, no, I'm just kidding. Of course, I've noticed gold seems to be making new all-time highs every day. And silver now is finally getting moving. Over the past week, we've seen moves of 3 and 4% in a day for silver. So, really happy to see that. Silver took its sweet time in getting going, but we know the potential that metal has in terms of price movement. I just reiterate it because people are going to start saying, oh my God, I missed out. I missed my opportunity. Nothing could be further from the truth. Gold currently at all time highs is dirt cheap. Yes, we're making new all time highs every day, but the bottom line is this is not the end of the bull market rally in gold. This is after a period of consolidation. This is the move to the next leg up in gold. So if you haven't bought yet, you haven't missed your opportunity. And when it comes to silver, silver was consolidating for 3, 4 years as well in a range from $20 to $26. And we have now recently just broken out of that range. And silver is doing that consolidation, not at all-time highs, but at 50% or half of all-time highs, which were about $50 an ounce. So the potential in silver is off the charts. I don't think you've missed anything, but I do think you should act. I mean, you're missing out on an opportunity, and it doesn't come around every day.
Yes, and you also work on a chart that can shed some light on this for people as well, for the history of what this has done.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. I go back to the beginning of the last bull market, when gold and silver were still kind of dirt cheap. Gold was at 288.50 an ounce back then. Silver was at $5.34 an ounce back then. And I compare it to the movement of the Dow, the S&P, and the Nasdaq, because I keep hearing everybody say, stocks move and you can make money in stocks, and gold is a barbarous relic, a dead, tired old asset that doesn't do anything for you but collect dust. Well, in 24 years, the Dow is up 245%, nothing to sneeze at. S&P 500 is up 259%. You would expect the NASDAQ even higher, up near 300 at 295%. But what most people won't get, and you won't get this for sure from the mainstream press, silver in that time is up 406%, and gold's up nearly 700% at 696%. And it's just starting the next leg up.
I know my family members are excited. My brother was messaged me this morning and said, "Have you seen what gold did?" So yeah, I know when I bought my first ounce of gold, it was $400.
And honestly, Charlotte, it's going to keep going up. I mean, you can't promise higher prices in the future, but we measure these things of value with fiat currency that is completely mismanaged. Nobody cares to balance a budget. That means we will expand the currency or inflate the currency, and that will have an impact on higher prices for everything of any value. So it's going up. Make no mistake about it.
The time is now.
Amen.